Alright, here we have a roll with White Belt Solomon, starting from standing. Sometimes he's very adamant about breaking grips, other times he'll come in. This time it seems he grabs double sleeves and sits down, which is nice because a lot of people that are very aggressive grip breakers, and sometimes it's a little slow process to get the fight started, which kind of bores me, so I usually end up sitting down or giving them a better position so we can start. So here I'm just applying a lot of knee pressure behind his legs, and then I try to throw his legs across. I thought I was able to sit down into mount, but he was able to get one of his knees in. I slide past his knees and then get kind of like a forward side control here. Solomon's very aggressive when it comes to open guard, but once you pass his open guard, he usually starts to slow down, which is not a good thing for him. I've been trying to teach him to make sure you don't get to your back and also fight. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to back it up here for a second. I can't really tell. I think maybe I got him in a paper cutter choke there. But it ends up being a fairly quick tap, and I think I'm describing, hey, make sure to keep your legs in front. I always try to make sure to give some helpful hints for anybody that's a little bit less experienced, because sometimes just getting beat every single roll is not exactly fun. So turning it into a learning experience can get them to get better a little bit faster. So start standing again. He's going for the same double sleeve grips. This time he goes for a hip toss, but I don't think he had a perfect connection. It was a nice entry, but I think his hips needed to be a little bit closer to me, which is what I was describing to him just now. So we'll see if he modifies anything. Alright. So this time he just sits back. Not the most graceful guard pulls. I'm not being aggressive, but he didn't have any feet on the hips, so you got to be careful with that because people will normally just walk past your guard. So here he's trying to play a spider guard. I'm just kind of seeing where his base strong points are. I tried a throw by, but he let it go. I'm just pressuring with one knee here. He's keeping shin on shin contact, which is good. He's controlling the back of my leg, so that's good. I think he probably should get better grips. It doesn't look like he really has very strong lapel grips. He's holding them, but if I was trying to break those grips, that wouldn't be too hard. So probably needs to switch to more of a cat grip or pistol grip. I'm controlling his knees or shins depending on what I get access to. He actually has a nice little elevation here. If he would have got me over his knees, that would have been a nice sweep, but he didn't really control it all the way through. I ended up just sitting down so that we kind of change the game a little bit so he can pass my guard. He's going for like a minor version of a double under, but he wasn't low enough, so I grab his heels and kind of push him over. He looks like he's attempting a leg lock, but there's not really a lot of connection. Even if he's bellying down, I just kind of scoot in, get a little bit closer, and keep my foot safe. I have pretty flexible ankles, so I feel pretty confident on getting out of most people's ankle lock attempts. And here I think I'm probably talking to him about how to clamp down on an ankle lock properly so that he can, if he's going to try it, might as well have as much information as possible. Looks like he's trying to pass my guard, controlling my sleeve, going in for like a knee slice with an underhook. I start to try to attack his elbow, fall into more of a half guard setup. I'm trying to dig for some underhooks or to create a little bit of space. He's doing a pretty good job of closing the space. He's trying to kind of walk this knee through to pass. Looks like I'm hooking his heel, which he thinks he can get into mount, but I was able to push it all the way over and take a sweep. He's trying to pull this arm in like he wants to go for either an arm bar or an omoplata, but there's just no hip connection. So his hips are really low. His hips need to be really high into my armpit for there to be a threat. He's also using lapel control, but again, he's probably just practicing some things he's either seen, hasn't really fleshed out all the details yet, but you can't learn if you don't try. So that's good on him to try different things. Maybe he feels that this lapel wrap around my arm gives him a little better control on it, and maybe doesn't hurt his fingers as much. I have control of his belt here, I believe, and I'm just kind of pushing his knee over. Once he turns away, I just walk up into I was going to go for a side control, but looks like I felt the back was easier to attack. I don't have any hooks in. That's probably one of my weaknesses when I attack the back. I see the top of the body and I go for that, but whenever I turn people, I don't always have my hooks in, which here Solomon capitalizes, kind of escapes, and then gets mount. I think he's trying to go for a key lock or shoulder lock here, but probably doesn't have a lot of pressure on me. I have pretty flexible shoulders, so I don't feel threatened. If I do feel threatened, normally I'll end up rolling out or bringing my arm in. As long as I have access to moving my shoulder, it's pretty hard to submit in that angle. You got to really control the shoulder before you can attack the elbow. Looks like he probably got off balanced here, put his weight all on one side, so I took him to the dead angle. I'm using my knee to kind of pressure in. I think he's going for he has me in a triangle, so I'm just doing one of the earliest escapes I've learned. You put your arm to one side of their head and you start to turn your hips down, but we run out of time before we can finish.